All right, let's hit the field.
All right.
Just wanted to talk, that's all.
In sports, teams have windows in which they can win, an opening in which they can go all in to try and win a championship. You can make the argument that the Yankees window opened when Aaron Judge hit the first pitch he saw in spring training of 2017 off of the top of the left field scoreboard at George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa. Gleyber Torres will be a free agent after the season, as will newest Yankees slugger Juan Soto. Giancarlo Stanton is on a mission to prove he can still play, and 2023 Cy Young Award winner Garrett Cole has an opt-out. Alex Verdugo and Anthony Rizzo are also facing the end of their Yankees contracts. When you add it all up, this could be the Yankees' last chance in a while to go all in and win now. 2024 is do or die. And this is NYY Recaps.
Welcome to Yankee Stadium.
Just when they thought I was out, hey, pull me back, kid.
All right. How's it going, everybody? And welcome back to my friend and fellow creator, Pat Hennessy. Pat, we're going to get right after it. Are you ready to just get after it this season?
Born ready. I've already been super excited coming into the season now with like that cinematic intro, and it's like I feel like I'm in a movie trailer, and like not to quote the Blue Jays or nothing. It feels like we're like waiting for the movie to start.
Oh yeah, well, we're getting ready to start, man. We got 2 days left of off season, Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday we're gonna wake up and we're gonna gear up for a Sunday afternoon baseball game, as we will for the next 6 months. And I couldn't be any more excited about it. I used to work for this marketing team, and we all had these business cards that had letters on them, NFA, and it stood for not effing around. You know, people have different, business cards with, CPA, DDS, PhD, whatever. We had NFA. We were not effing around, and we didn't. We crushed it. I want every Yankee to get that tattooed on their forehead this year. Not effing around.
Would be a good look. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm so excited for this season. We were talking about it a little bit before. This is like the first time, I want to say in my lifetime. I'm 23 years old. This is the most excited I've ever been for a Yankee season prior to spring training, right? And maybe those vibes will switch up in the next couple of weeks depending on what the hell goes down, because who knows? But as of right now, entering spring training, I've never been more optimistic when it comes to the New York Yankees. And also, like, those vibes could go up even more. Blake Snell's still out there. Jordan Montgomery's still out there. Cody Bellinger might be a Yankee. Who knows? But the vibes could get even better next week at this time. So we'll see.
So we're going to talk about, the essentials for having a great season and, who could be back if the Yankees don't accomplish their mission this year. But I thought first we would take a look at some of the Yankees photo day. What do you say?
I'm so down.
Let's do it. All right. So first up, we have ourselves a competition for best team mustache this year. We've got Austin Wells. He, obviously sporting the big, thick mustache that he had last year. Almost looks like an emoji or something, right? You know that
insane.
Mustache?
No, that's the craziest mustache I've ever seen.
He's 24 years old. How is he capable of doing that? I'm 40 and I still can't grow a mustache that thick. That's insane.
He's blessed. He's got great genes.
And Jason Dominguez, about a week ago, we saw photos of him and he was looking a little bit chunky, looking a little bit like Mr. NYY Recaps here. But looks like he's already shaved it off a little bit. He looks like he's trim. We're going to have to talk about the see-through pants, though. Like the uniforms, we're going to have to talk about how thin these uniforms are. I feel like they're not keeping much from the imagination here.
Yeah, no, a few pictures came out today that I wish I could unsee. But yeah, no, the uniforms they're quite something.
So number 2 in the mustache competition, we got.
Who is that?
That's Anthony Masevich. You remember him?
Oh,
He pitched a few times. Left-handed relief pitcher. That's a straight-up old-timey, old-fashioned baseball player mustache. I love it. And I wish I could pull that off.
If you're walking down the street, 10 o'clock at night, no street lights, and you see this dude walking towards you, you're crossing the other way, dude. Like, I want nothing to... He's terrifying.
He doesn't look that... I mean, maybe in, like, like a horror movie if you dressed him up like a clown or something. He kind of looks like that clown from the Terrifier if you put some makeup on him, right? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you're not a movie guy.
No,
What do you
yeah.
All right. So we got the opposite effect here. Carlos Rodon, he subtracted his mustache, also lost a few lbs. I got to say, I hope his fastball's back because this is one of the most unintimidating pictures I've ever seen. He looks super nice, though.
Yeah, no, I was going to say he looks really good. Like, bro, this might be the most attractive Carlos Rodon has ever looked. Like, for some reason, it looks like there's like an AI filter on it just to make his skin look silky smooth. But yeah, no filters. Carlos Rodon looks good.
Yeah, so he's the talk of camp. We're going to have to get to him in a few minutes. Next, we got Mr. Juan Soto rocking the pinstripes in a picture for the first time. You remember, he didn't have that press conference. I felt kind of gypped that we didn't get the press conference of him holding up the 22. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just something they're probably saving for if and when he signs that massive extension, right? Like, we kind of saw it all offseason. They did the virtual press conferences for everybody, which I don't like, but we'll probably get a right one once he signs that extension.
And then we got Mr. Giancarlo Stanton over there, or what's left of him. I mean, this guy has lost some serious tonnage. I'm going to put up a comparison on the screen. Left side was last year, right side is this year. He looks like he should be starting the Dallas Buyers Club. This guy has lost so much weight, it's unbelievable. I think he's still going to have power because he's still a massive human being, but I mean, he looks like he's lost 40 pounds, 30, 40 pounds.
No, Derek, he looks
I'm generally worried he has
amazing.
A tapeworm. I'm worried he has a tapeworm, man.
I look at Giancarlo Stanton, and you know what I see? He looks like a supermodel, bro. Derek, this picture, it gives me urges. You know what else it gives me? It gives me ideas that he's going to hit 45 home runs this season with ease.
I got a voicemail, and I wish I had thought to put it on, but I got it a few days ago, and somebody called in and said, you know, I'm really disappointed in Giancarlo Stanton because he should always come to camp in shape. Dude, the guy's always in shape. Like, he's always in shape.
He's just in shape in a different way now.
He's just not as muscle-bound. You know, maybe he can run the bases without looking like he's dragging an invisible piano.
Yeah.
We got Aaron Judge. No surprise there. Looks like $1 million. I'm loving the smile without the gap. I thought I would hate it, but I'm getting used to it.
These pictures, they definitely were like AI touched up or something. Because there's no way everybody's skin looks this smooth. Look at Judge's face. Are these guys just naturally beautiful, or?
Let's see if we can make it bigger. I mean, I think I was just zoomed out. It's pretty high res. He's still got the freckles, you know.
Maybe. It just looks very smooth, man. Like, I feel like if you zoom into my face like that, I don't know if it looks as smooth and nice. Maybe they have like good cameras, but whatever.
Let's try. Let's zoom in on Pat here. Hang on just a second. I've got it.
Oh, man. I might regret this.
We're going to zoom in.
You know, my skin doesn't look too bad.
It doesn't look good. You got that good lotion, whatever you use there. It puts the lotion on its skin. And there's your best friend.
Absolutely. Hey.
Yeah. Shout out Marcus Stroman.
Marcus Stroman. I'll say this for Marcus Stroman. He's got a high pain tolerance because he is literally covered in tattoos head to toe. Not afraid of needles at all. That's a lot of tattoos, man.
He's covered. Have you seen his back? He has like 30 different I think most of his tattoos are like portraits of people too. He has like portraits all over his back. It's kind of wild.
Yeah, so let's talk about your best friend, Marcus Stroman, because it's been almost a year. And to set this up for the listeners who maybe aren't watching, aren't familiar with Pat, aren't familiar with this whole thing, last year Anthony Volpe hit his first Major League home run in April. It was a game in which the Yankees lost, which they did a lot of last year. And after the game, when they were asking him about it, I think it was Meredith Marakovich was interviewing him, and he was kind of holding back a smile, smirking or whatever, and you tweeted something to the effect of, smiling ear to ear after a Yankees loss, oh, fuck this guy, ah! Yeah. And Marcus Stroman basically took you out to the woodshed and slapped you around a little bit.
Unprovoked.
Well, so give me your side on this whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of view it as like kind of a nothing burger now. It's a take I still stand by a year later. I still think like, yo, if the Yankees lose a game, I don't care if you hit your first home run or not. I don't want to see you smiling because I'm miserable. And when it comes to Stroman, it's just like, why was he even butting his head into something that didn't involve him and calling me a loser, saying I live like a pathetic life, just like crazy shit. And I'm willing to kind of put that in the past, right? Like, he wasn't a Yankee at the time. Like, he obviously has taken a step back from social media and being outlandish like that over the past probably like almost the past year now.
Was it you? Were you the were you the catalyst of this whole thing?
I might have been the catalyst. I don't know.
When he decided he was going to go after Pat Hennessy, he decided my work on the internet is done. I'm done with the internet.
Yeah, I mean, because also I kind of came back with a pretty good comeback. I don't know if you saw it, Derek. I replied to him when he said that. I was like, Marcus, that's why you and I are going to finish our career with the same amount of World Series rings. And now that's a comment that might be biting me a little bit because now he's a Yankee and I want him to win a World Series ring. But I think what it really comes down to with Stroman is, do I think he's the most amazing human being? Obviously not. However, if he can help the Yankees win a World Series this year, that's all I care about. And there's a lot of quotes coming out. Obviously, he has wanted to be a Yankee his whole life. He loves being a Yankee right now. I still kind of get fake vibes from him, a little bit inauthentic, just telling people what they want to hear. I just want to see him prove it on the mound. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm putting the past behind us. And if Marcus Stroman performs for the Yankees this year, I'm going to be ecstatic. However, if he sucks, Derek, it's going to be bad. It's going to get really, really bad.
I'm here for it. Either way, I think it's going to be, it's win-win for me. It's entertainment.
That's what I'm here for, actually.
So, yeah, we're seeing Giancarlo here looking skinny. Look, the main idea of this podcast, of this episode, is obviously that I feel like this could be the Yankees' last chance with this group. This group that began when Aaron Judge emerged in 2017 as this monster. Gleyber Torres emerged the next year. You get Giancarlo Stanton. You start building this group. You sign Garrett Cole. That's the core. But it feels like, if Stanton has another bad year, he could be out of Major League Baseball. Like, if he hits 190 again, I don't care how many home runs he hits, he's going to be out of baseball because the Yankees are just going to cut him. And they're going to have to eat that contract because you can't carry a useless player again. Now, do I think he's going to bounce back? I think he might. I think there's something to playing lighter, and I think to win an MVP, you got to have that mentality, that dog in you, right? I don't know. How you feeling about Stanton?
Yeah, I think we talked about this last time we spoke, too. I'm even more high on Stanton now than I was then, because all offseason I was super optimistic, just because knowing Stanton, knowing his work ethic, knowing his mental determination, that he was going to come into this season with an absolute chip on his shoulder. And now seeing him enter spring training, and I know we say it a lot, but Stanton is maybe in the best baseball shape of his life. He's very lean. He just looks really good. And if you look at his swing too, I saw something on Twitter kind of like comparing his stance from last year at this time and this year at this time. He looks like a completely different hitter. He looks a lot more balanced. He looks good at the plate. So I'm very, very, very confident that he will bounce back this season. It's not even a question of will he or not, or he might do it. No, I think he will. I genuinely think that we're in for a really, really crazy revenge season from Giancarlo Stanton, where I wouldn't be shocked at all if he hits 40-plus home runs. And also, like, if you take into account that he's going to probably be in the 6 hole, that's absurd.
Yeah. So we got a comment here from Richard C. So I watched his batting stance, too. I didn't think it was radically different. I thought the position of the bat, in the slot was different. So last year it was more straight up, right? Which, if you have it more tilted a little bit differently, you can get the bat into the hitting zone a little bit earlier and keep it in there a little bit longer. It's what J.D. Martinez did when he burst out several years ago. It's what Aaron Judge did after the 2016 season and has continued to perfect. It's something that I've also heard that Anthony Volpe is working on. But if he can just make more contact, I think it's going to lead to a lot more home runs. But again, he's got to stay on the field. I'm not convinced. He lost some weight, but it's like that Forrest Gump, Lieutenant Dane, you ain't got no legs. And I don't know if he can. I don't know if he can keep going, man, without breaking down.
No,
All right.
I think that we're really like not realizing how much losing the muscle mass is going to do for his injury concerns. I think it's really going to do wonders, but time will tell.
I like somebody said he went from the machine to the machinist. That was pretty good. You don't know the machinist. So the machinist is another movie reference, obviously, where Christian Bale, he got emaciated, like he lost like 100.
Oh yeah, I saw this. Yes.
Because he didn't sleep for a year. His character didn't sleep for a year. It's a really trippy movie. I know you're not a movie guy, but it's worth a watch if you like that. Frankie says Pat hasn't seen Forrest Gump. Have you seen Forrest Gump?
Yes, I've.
You
seen
got
Forrest
that
Gump.
reference at least, right? You had to have.
No, I didn't get the reference, but I saw the movie.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So Carlos Rodon has been the talk of camp so far with getting his fastball back, obviously dropping the mustache. We're going to see him on Sunday. What's your confidence level in him? Because he's another guy who, look, this is a make or break year for him, right? I mean, you can't have a bad first 2 years in New York or you're gone. You know what I mean? Like they'll ship him out somewhere. I feel like he's got to come out guns blazing.
I agree. My confidence level in Rodon is definitely a little bit less than it is with Stanton. Just for the sole purpose of we haven't seen Rodon perform in pinstripes yet. We've seen Stanton do it, so I think that's why I have a little bit more confidence there. But I'm really worried that if we don't see Rodon perform to expectations this year, or at least have a healthy season, there's going to be some serious question marks because we're going into the season right now, and unless the Yankees sign Blake Snell, Carlos Rodon's your basically solidified number 2. And if he can't perform at least to like number 3 standards, the Yankees have a really serious problem as far as the starting rotation goes. So I think just for the sake of this team, I hope and pray that he performs well this season. But if not, like we're going to have real concerns.
So we saw a press conference from Hal Steinbrenner. Press conference is the wrong way to describe it. He met the media briefly today and looked like a deer in headlights as always. I don't know what this guy has against talking to the press, but it's very rare that he comes out and actually speaks to reporters. And he basically said, we're not done. Payroll is over $300 million. But he also said last year that they weren't done, and they were, as A. Joels says in the chat. So do you think they are done? Do you think they're going to go after, like, Blake Snell or maybe a Jordan Montgomery? We saw that we all got trolled on social media last night about the Blake Snell stuff. But at some point, this guy's going to have to sign, and it might be soon.
Yeah, I'm going to guarantee something. I don't like opinions. I like locks, and this is a lock that by the end of next week, Blake Snell will be a New York Yankee. It's inevitable at this point. Yeah,
I'll take it.
I'll be using the chat. Derek, doesn't it feel just like a foregone conclusion at this point that he's falling into the Yankees' laps?
So here's my thing. This, as I've said multiple times already in this episode, is a do or die season for this group, right? Why not go all in this year? I would be not unopposed. I guess I should say I wouldn't be opposed to giving him a $50 or $60 million contract for one season. Blow the doors off with one season. Now, yeah, you're going to have to pay double. That's like $120 million. You know what the Yankees have lots of? Money! They got lots of money!
Absurd, though.
It would be absurd. Donnie Clark says 4 for $140. I mean, even that, a 4-year deal. I could get behind a 4-year deal for Snell.
Sure.
My issue with Blake Snell, and I've mentioned this on a couple of different episodes already this winter, is that he pitches a lot like David Price, where he works into and out of trouble a lot. And he gets swings and misses to get out of trouble. He gets a lot of strikeouts, but he'll walk guys. He'll just throw a ton of pitches and a ton of stressful pitches. And when you throw a ton of pitches, you can't go deep into games. By the end of David Price's effectiveness, he was throwing 5 innings, and then his arm started to break down. I see Blake Snell as kind of the same pitcher as David Price.
Yeah, no, I think, but also that's why he's in the position he's in right now. He might have won a Cy Young last year, but he's a very unattractive free agent target. And obviously, because of what you just said, a lot of teams are worried. They're cautious to give him a long-term deal. So if the Yankees could swoop in and, yeah, bro, if you could land Blake Snell for a 4-year deal, let's say 4 years, $150 million, dude, I'm pulling the trigger on that 10 times out of 10. I don't love Blake Snell. He's not my favorite pitcher in Major League Baseball, but we'd be lying if we said that he wouldn't be a substantial upgrade. compared to what we have in the rotation right now, which isn't bad because if all things go right, the Yankees rotation is pretty good, but it's always good to have that depth.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen. I really do. Like, I'm starting to get the same vibe. I said this last night. I tweeted it, and a lot of people came back at me that it's starting to feel kind of like it felt when Soto was going to happen because you knew that the Padres needed to move Soto, right? It was a foregone conclusion they were going to have to deal him. Blake Snell has to sign. Who else is waiting out there with $200, $300 million? Nobody. I mean, maybe San Francisco throws some money at him. But the Yankees are a lot closer to winning, I think, than San Francisco is, especially this year. Yeah. So I think it's going to happen. Let's talk about who he could be throwing to, because right now there's 3 catchers for 2 spots. I talked about this with Kratz on a show last week. You got Austin Wells, obviously top prospect, showed some pop last year. Struggled a little bit when he first came up, but hit some absolute nukes. I mean, when he hits them, they stay hit. And then you got Jose Trevino coming back, Platinum Glove winner, steals a lot of strikes, very important to the pitching staff, cannon for an arm, elite defense. And then you got Ben Rortvedt, who down the stretch caught Garrett Cole to get him over the hump. The way that Kratz looks at it is that you get Austin Wells regular bats in AAA. You got another guy, this guy Ben Rice on the screen right now. He's a catcher that has a great swing. He's got a chance to be in AAA as well. I kind of want him getting those at-bats in AAA. I think I would go with the platoon of Austin Wells and Jose Trevino. Wells against righties, Trevino against lefties. What are your thoughts on the catching position?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, Derek. Austin Wells is my starting catcher. I know a lot of people are looking at it like, yeah, Jose Trevino, Platinum Glove catcher. He's not my starting catcher. I think the upside that you could get from Austin Wells in the lineup is really high. I look at Wells and I see a guy who could hit 20-plus home runs. I know a lot of people don't, but I think the pop is there, and I think the hitting potential is there. And I think it's just a matter of getting him comfortable and acclimated with the Yankees starting rotation. And I think that this spring training is awesome for that. Last year, we obviously weren't going to see him just start catching Garrett Cole midway through his Cy Young season. But I think as long as they kind of work together this spring training, I don't think that Cole needs to go into the season with Rortvedt again as his personal catcher, right? So I think all things considered, I agree 1,000%. I like that platoon of Wells catching majority of the games, and then Trevino if you want to throw him in against lefties. But yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. I think we're kind of working from the same notes there. I think you could have Rortvedt be the backup at AAA, or
Sure.
Even be the regular guy at AAA. And
I like Rortvedt. He kind of got shit on a lot because he can't hit, but I think he provides some sort of value.
He's a good catcher. He's got a good eye. He had a 400 on-base percentage at AAA, and in terms of walk percentage, he was pretty good despite limited at-bats in the major leagues. All right, so let's talk about who's going to be gone. If the Yankees, let's fast forward. Let's say October 15th, and the Yankees just lost in 5 games to the Orioles in the ALCS. Or the ALDS. Who's gone? Who's gone?
Everyone. If you actually think about it, going into this season, this is a real make or break year. And it just feels like a completely different team. So it's like, if the Yankees fail again this year, I can't look at the roster because it's like, dude, this is a really good roster that's capable of winning a World Series as of right now. So Aaron Boone would have to be gone. If the Yankees have another disappointing season, I can't see a scenario where he comes back. Cashman probably stays. I think Boone's probably the only one that's gone. And then depending on what was the main reason for the Yankees' downfall, whether it was lack of situational hitting or starting pitching depth, whatever it may be, I think that there'll be some evaluations there. But I think the foregone conclusion would be Boone would have to be gone.
But what about Glaber? Let's say Glaber has a Glaber year.
Oh, he's gone.
A
solid
he's gone
year. Regardless.
Juan Soto. Would the Yankees pony up for him? Let's say they win 92 games. A good year, but go out early in the playoffs.
Well, yeah, I think right now, regardless of how the season ends, I think Glaber's gone. Soto's here for life. I think it would take a lot for the Yankees to not offer Juan Soto a blank check at the end of the season. And I think as a result of that, they're going to have to suffer and kind of let Gleyber Torres walk. I think the only way Gleyber does come back next year is if he takes an insane hometown discount. Because, like, let's be honest, I think he's probably going to be looking at somewhere close to $200 million. Obviously, depending on how this season goes, but let's say he has another season that's pretty similar to 2023. We're going to be looking at like a $200 million contract for Gleyber Torres, and I doubt the Yankees kind of hand that to him.
Especially if they sign Blake Snell. So the Yankees have gotten themselves into a position where it's tough to spend because they're going to end up feeding the funds of the rest of the league, which is something that they don't necessarily want to do. Last topic we got to get to here is the uniforms. I'm first of all, for the first time in a long time, I'm glad the Yankees don't have names on their uniforms. I personally like names. I think it would be cool if they had names. There's also something classic about it. I also love that too. So I'm kind of like 12 of one, a dozen of the other. But the uniforms this year look like shit. When you look at the logos and the numbers and the names for guys are not stitched on anymore. They're like ironed on. That's like little league shit, man. My high school jerseys were better than that. And then you factor in like all these teams got the ads, the star insurance now for the Yankees, and it's not even uniform. It's like it's on some guys it's on the right and some guys it's on the left. Have you noticed that?
Yeah. I mean, everything as a whole is kind of just weird.
The uniforms are, I think MLB needs to step in and do something here, like over the next, like ASAP.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of an unpopular opinion, but I know you just mentioned, like, the Yankees don't have names on the back of their jerseys, so, like, that's not one thing that affects us, and, like, sure, bro, like, the see-through pants is a thing for now. That'll probably be kind of fixed before the season starts, but I don't really care. I think people are making a lot bigger of a deal than it actually is, for the sole purpose of it doesn't affect me, so I don't care. I'm in that very fine boat where it's like I'm going to watch the Yankees every single game this season, and I guarantee you I'm not even going to realize that they have like that Fanatics is making the uniforms instead of Nike 2 weeks in. And it's the same exact thing as when they got the Star Insurance patch last year. I was livid beyond belief when they first brought it on. And then like 2 weeks later, I was like, yo, I kind of forgot they even have it on the shoulder. So yeah, I think the way I'm looking at it is if I was a fan of a team like the Mariners, I'd be pissed because the jerseys look cheap as hell. They look whack. The names look stupid, whatever it may be. But as a fan of the New York Yankees, our jerseys look pretty normal to me. And also, one thing that I guess I can complain about is our lack of City Connect uniforms. I would love for a City Connect uni. And, like, it doesn't even have to be anything too crazy. You know what I mean? Like, bro, if they had the jerseys that the Yankee Stadium workers wear, like the navy with, like, the white pinstripes, give me that, bro. Just something unique. That's why I'm so upset that we don't even have the Players Weekend anymore, where it's like there was like unique uniforms going on for the New York Yankees. I just love fun shit like that, and it sucks the Yankees don't get to have it.
Not so family fun vision always joins when you're on for whatever reason. I think he might be your stalker there. He loves the pants until it rains and you can see everybody's drawers.
Yeah, but will you though? Like, don't they wear the same colors as the pants?
Sliding shorts, I guess. They're like typically white or whatever, so like spandex things. So I don't think you're really going to see. I don't think you're going to see Giancarlo Stanton's dick. I
would hope not, or maybe I hope so. I don't know.
All right, we're gonna. That just seems like a good place to wrap.
I wouldn't mind it, Derek. I wouldn't mind it.
You gotta go.
That gonna be a fun year.
I'm very excited, Derek.
All right, just some housekeeping to get to.
Game over, man.
Because we got about 250 people on right now. So a few things, and I'll mention this again on Saturday. Recaps are back this Sunday. Yankees play the Blue Jays, so I'll be on after the game. I'm going to do a lot of games this spring. I'm not going to do them all. We're also going to have a Saturday night show. My buddy Terrence is joining me. We're going to be doing a show every week this summer called This Week in Yankees Baseball, Sundays at 9 p.m. So that'll be fun. And we're also going to have a live game day chat. It's basically going to be a fan hangout live stream that happens during every game. I'll be in the chat. I'm not going to be hosting or anything like that, but we're going to have highlights and things like that during the game. It's going to be super cool. And I hope you guys can all tune in for that. And Pat, any final words? What's your prediction? Final Yankees win total this year?
I'm really bad at math. If they have 109 wins, how many losses is that?
Oh man, I'm not great
I
at
know.
math.
I know.
That's like 53, 109 and 53. 109 and 53, yeah.
Okay, yeah, 109, 53, and they defeat the Orioles in the ALDS. They defeat the Astros in the ALCS, and then they defeat the Philadelphia Phillies in the World Series. It'll be the greatest World Series match of all time.
I'll sign up for it, man.
How about you?
All right. I'm going to say 96 and 66, wild card, losing the ALDS to the Orioles in 5.
Are you joking?
No, that's my prediction. I'd be happy to be wrong, but I'm realistic. I'm not going to say they're going to win the World Series every year. Come on.
What fun is that then? What fun is it?
It's fun to be proven wrong, too. Like, I want to be honest with my audience. I mean, Yankees are going to win the World Series. I put out a video called, 10 Wild Predictions, where I predicted they would have the Cy Young Award winner, the MVP, and win a World Series and set the record for runs and home runs. Like, I feel like that's my positive video. This is my realistic video. I think I'm going to be solid.
Fine,
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'll
We'll see. We got a lot of people that are that are unhappy with my. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next time.